Hey everybody, good morning. It's me, Barb. I am back from the MSLA conference to a house full of germs, so I forgive me if I'm all over the place today. But I just have loved reading the responses to the conference because it was a ton of work, but that really really makes me feel great that everyone has come back all fired up. And I did too. You'd think after all this time I'd just be jaded, but I'm not. It really does. I have to recommend anytime you can go to a conference. I've been going to AASL and ALA for the past couple years because of my work with MSLA, they pay for it. But if you can make it work, attending conferences is so much because teaching one another is so valuable for us as librarians, which leads directly into this week's content. So this week, we're looking at, oh, I think I just called it professional development. Teaching teachers, that's what I called it, but also each other. Um, so this week we're looking at professional development, and there is nothing that well, no, there's lots of things that I love more, but I really love professional development. It's a great way for your school to see you as the professional that you are and as a teacher, because there's often this perception that we are not teachers when in fact that is one of our main functions. So this week on your to-do list, make sure you have a copy of Catalog It because is that next week? Good Lord. Yeah, that's next week. So you should be able to order it on Amazon without a problem. Or many library consortiums have it. But it's really the best guide to cataloging for school librarians. So it's worth actually purchasing. I don't usually require books to be purchased for my classes, but this is one that I would, well, I recommended that Renee Hobbs one too, but I would highly recommend this because I still will occasionally go in. They have just discontinued my favorite cataloging tool, which is, well, I'm not even going to tell you because it's so heartbreaking. And I used to be able to just go in and find a Dewey number, like that when I'm doing my own cataloging. And my tool is gone. So I yanked out my copy of Catalog It this week. Like, all right, it's in the 600s. What are the subsettings? Anyway, so recommend it. Watching the video, congratulations, you're doing it. Read the content page. Usually it's kind of like watch the video or read the content page, but there is a lot of more specific information in the content page that I would urge you to look at because this week you're going to create a professional development presentation and upload it to the assignment section. So that means that you are going to, and I'm sharing, I can just show you right here. There's some different types of training that you can look at. There are different ways of presentation. You can also, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier for your convenience, if you want to pair up, if you're working, if you want to work with somebody else in in the class or in the other section, I don't know, if there's any slosh over between the two sections for the for module, let's see, 13, I will be pairing you. And so next week there's going to be a survey for you to fill out so that I can pair people who are in libraries already, who have a circulation system. I'm going to be pairing them with people who aren't in libraries yet so that they can work together. And I know not everybody likes group work, and I know it's a pain in the butt to have to, get your schedules together, but hopefully it won't be too onerous for you because I mean, working with collaborating is one of the hugest pieces of our job. So, but for this time, you have the option. You can definitely split the work in half by partnering up, or you can do it all yourself. It's fine with me. So, and to go through here, that's all you're doing. It's your big thing. There's also, I would like you to, for your blog this week, there's a bunch of articles, which I'll show you in a second. And because there's so many of them, and like choose the one that's of interest to you and just post it in your blog and then post that also in the discussion, just so everybody gets an idea of what they are. The Helen Blowers one is the one that kind of started this class, actually. It's 10 tips about 23 things. And what it was the 23 things for Web 2.0. She created this just a list of 23 things to do to explore, and making the whole technology journey very exploratory, which is the first section of this course. Is I'm still like, that's what we're doing. You got to just play with, you have to have the time to play with stuff. So that was what her Helene Blower's idea was. You just need to be able to have the time to do this, and that's how you learn. And that has really affected a lot of my teaching. So then we have Sharon Coatney, who has the introduction to, what is it called? School library leadership or something like that. The many faces of school library leadership. So here is the introduction here. And this is, I want to say 2010 maybe. Oh, you know what? I bet that it would be on the Verso, wouldn't it? The year of publication. 2010. Look at me knowing stuff. So this is the introduction about how we should be leaders in our schools, which we should. And then we have Janice Gilmore C wrote specifically a section on staff development, teacher librarians as learning leaders. So this one is a really, it's, again, gosh, 14 years old, yikes. But it talks about all the different ways in which you can be a learning leader in your school. Then we've got Harada, which is, so this is for the ones that love to read a study. So this is about I think it was statewide in Hawaii, Pathways to Excellent and Achievement in Research and Learning. So it's Pearl in Hawaii, which is kind of cute. And this is all about a sort of overarching professional development thing statewide. Then we've got Harvey, who writes about the professional development hat, but this is more recent. I think this is from maybe post-corona even. Oh no, it's 2013. Wow, I thought it was more recent. The hat threw me. But this is a nice sort of school library specific, let's get this party started kind of thing. Keeling this is AASL's planning guide. So this is a like nuts and bolts, how to get going. And then this one, Stevens, is the post-corona virus school library, and talking about the huge changes. And what's really funny is that as I was rereading this for this time around, she says, one thing is for certain, students will likely never go back to school or school libraries as they were before. Blah, blah, blah. We need to have, flexibility, connecting students. And it sort of feels like, this is, post coronavirus, we're going to be much more digital. We're going to be much more sort of I have found my library to be so much more people oriented. The kids, they just want to be there and hang out. So that's good, but it's a good point. And it's talking about how there was a huge change. Anyway, so keep connecting. And then the last one is this one. And it's a PD that Alex Swaznick, who was the conference coordinator. She's the middle school librarian in my district. And she and I built this a while back, I think. But you just click on, it was a completely self-paced, no interaction, visual literacy thing. And so if you click on section 1, it gives you a little intro, and then section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you don't have to take part in this, obviously, if you do not want to, but it's just, it was really fun to put this together. There's a lot of different formats you can use. Oh, incidentally, if you go into the people who went to MSLA, a lot of them have posted the slideshows in their responses. So if you, even if you didn't get to go, the slideshows from MSLA are also a great PD when we're teaching each other as opposed to teaching just teachers. But as far as formats go, so for this project, and I mention it in the text, but you can do something like, just a straight up sort of lesson plan thing for a PD. You can do a script, you can do a PowerPoint, you can do something like this where you have activities. So, work to your comfort zone. If you're someone who's done a ton of PD, especially for you classroom teachers out there, think of something, oh my gosh, you guys, the PD in schools is never for librarians. It's real. It is a struggle. But it's very rare that we get stuff specifically for us. So, make sure you don't want to waste your colleagues' time. So make sure that it's engaging. There's a lot to be learned. So depending on your knowledge of professional development, that will be how you present yourself. I'm not worried. You've all been doing excellent work. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to cover on this. Again, if you want to pair up, that's lovely. It's but you don't have to. And don't forget Catalog It by Allison G. Kaplan. Because that's the whole thing for modules 11 and 12. It's just reading Catalog It. I would like to make it more interesting, and I keep swearing that I will, but then I go back and I look at Catalog and I'm like, Allison's done all the work. It's right here. So, and I'll talk about that. And you have 2 weeks to do it. It's not going to be a big. I have grown to love cataloging since, so we'll see. Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm still recovering, but it was lovely to get to meet some of you at the conference. That was really nice. And to see people in person from the class, which that's really pretty much my only chance to do that. So thanks for those of you who came. For those of you who didn't get to, I'm sorry, maybe next year. But I look forward to looking at your other stuff as it comes in at the beginning of next week. All right, off to grading. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on the discussion boards. Bye-bye. Oh gosh, I meant to end this instead of make my face huge. Sorry about that.